Alright, here's what we're doing. I got a Katadyn 10 liter that I'm tired of replacing the filters. These things go for 45, 50, 60 bucks depending upon where you buy them and how many you buy them in. So I took the filter out of here and I'm hooking up a Sawyer Mini, which I've never used a Sawyer Mini before. So I bought actually an adapter off Amazon for 5 bucks. So I can actually pop this apart. I'll be able to flush the Katadyn Mini pretty easy. If this all works out well, and then I just put the straw on the bottom. So I'm gonna check flow rate on this and see what we get. See if this is an efficient way to do our boundary waters trip. So just opened it up. Some mosquitoes going. This is the first time this one's ever been used. I've never used one before, so I don't know if this is. That's pretty good flow, actually. That's really good flow. I haven't found any videos on YouTube on this, so I just used hose water. We're out in the country, and I'm going to see how long it takes this to fill. So we're at 1 minute and 8 in this video, and we're going to put some water in this. This is typically how our setup is when we're up in boundary waters. We'll hang the Katadyn up there. We fill up this one. Actually, this is our dirty one. We wrap duct tape around it, so we know this is our dirty one. Then we'll have a clean one of these as well. So this goes and gets water from the lake. We put it up in the Katadyn, and then the other one we would fill with clean water. But I did wash these out with bleach when we came back from our last trip, so it's not going to hurt anything. But we're going to fill this up, see how long it takes. And again, man, oh, I just pinched it off. As of right now, that is a really good flow rate. That's like probably faster than the Katadyn filter gives me right off the bat. So I'll go over some other stuff that I did with this. I just left the straw in there just so it's going to hold in the container a little bit better. Again, $5 off Amazon. My thought process and the deal with this is it actually has a cutoff in it. You put it in almost backwards from where it's designed, but it's got a cutoff so it won't drain when I don't have it hooked up. This is see-through, so I can flush it backwards. You can flush these, they come with a little flusher. Real simple. So far as designed. The other stuff that I do is I put a rope on here with a carabiner, and this just kind of controls the hose a little bit. Sometimes when we get wind, depending upon how full the bag is, we've had some issues. So the other nice thing is when you don't have something connected to it, you can take this carabiner and snap it to something. Or we're not always on real level plain ground or ground when we're up there. So you can actually slide this down. One pinched off even a little bit here. That was even pinched off a little bit. Probably flows a lot better now. But then I can actually clip this carabiner right onto this handle if I want to. So. There we go. Good flow rate. These are down to 0.1 micron, so again, just something that I can get a Sawyer Mini for 20 bucks. I have no problem taking a number of these up if these clog, and they're rated a lot higher than the Katadyn filters. Same microns, but for a lot more gallons. They were originally saying like 1 million. I don't want 1 million. I want I'd take 200, 300 gallons. That would be amazing. Because this Katadyn's good for about 2 days, probably 30 gallons before it's a cartridge filter before it just gets really dirty. I end up scrubbing it. It wrecks the filter. It's not very good flow rate after that. So let's see how this goes. I was going to take lake water, but it's just too dirty here in Minnesota right now. We're at the end of June. It's just too much algae to get a good picture of how that would work. So. Well, there you go. We'll come back in a few minutes. There it is. There's my flow rate. The Sawyer Mini. That $5 coupler from Amazon. Alright, we checked our flow rate. We had another gallon container actually that we did this in. And when it was nice and straight and flat, this tends to kink off with what I've got going on there. We were flowing at a rate of 5 minutes per gallon. A little over 5 minutes is like 5:15 per gallon of water. So that's a pretty good flow rate for a gravity filter, especially just running through this. I guess the Sawyer, I'm worried about how many gallons, and they were first saying 1 million when you had them, and now I think they've only been tested like 100,000 or something. If I had like 100 gallons, 200-300 gallons, I'll take a fraction of what they're stating in boundary waters. At that flow rate, I'd be really impressed. So one other cool thing that I found, that in this little Coleman, and I know these are pretty similar size, if you put that actually plugs that up. So we have had things where spiders or flies are trying to get into your water, and this sits in there just snug. It's not hard to pull out, not hard to push in. That's kind of a nice little added too. You see the bugs and the dirt that you get on there. Just to be able to kind of seal that area off is kind of a nice deal. So overall, I'm pretty excited to see how this performs on our trip. This all rolls up into a nice little Ziploc bag. Again, that Sawyer filter is smaller than the filter that the Katadyn comes with. It's rated for more. It's a different type. The Katadyn comes with a filter, paper type filter, fiber filter, and this is a tube, some sort of fiber tubes is what they are. So a couple other people have cut them open and checked, but I've never seen anyone set this up on YouTube before in any configuration with a gravity and check flow rate. So again, we were out of my well water, which isn't great, but it's a decent water. We're a little over 5 minutes per gallon, so good flow rate. This is the setup here, how everything fits in. I actually pulled this out just so I could show beforehand, but I've got an extra filter in here, the whole Katadyn. Everything that I have fits into a nice 2-fist sized pouch. To go to boundary waters, it weighs almost nothing. It's just a perfect size to have an extra filter, your whole gravity system right in here. It actually beats what Katadyn had before, because you're not stuffing those cartridge filters in here. They are fragile, and I would keep those in like a Tupperware container so you didn't crush them. But the Sawyer Mini is rugged enough that you can throw a couple in here. You could probably actually throw, so I've got one in there right now, plus this one. I could throw at least one more in there, if not 2 more. You'd really be set your whole water kit right here. So let's take it apart and see what it looks like. We are back from our boundary waters trip, so I wanted to give a review. It's actually been a couple months, and just kind of fill you in how it went and give you some updates on it. So I was real pleased with the setup that I had. I brought a number of these Katadyn filters or Sawyer filters with me, sorry, for the Katadyn, that I can just pop it over the end. And I actually brought 3 Sawyer Minis and 1 blue, can't remember what it's called, but blue filter. I never ended up using that one, so I just wasn't sure. We're up there in 7 days with 7 people, so you can't run out of water, so I needed to have backup upon backup upon backup. I also brought a couple filters for this, the Katadyn as well, just because I had some, just in case. I was really worried about how this would go, so even though I'd kind of tested it, but probably not thoroughly enough. So I just wanted to report back. 1 Sawyer Mini connected to this system, 7 days, 7 people, 0 problems. This thing was excellent. I don't know why Sawyer does not sell this as a gravity filter or even advertise it more. I know they do with their squeeze, but this system was impeccably perfect. My only issue was my own design flaw, and that was, which I saw previously, that it was pinching. So what I did is I just had a piece of hose that just happened to be clear that fit right over the top of this. I don't know if you can see it very well in the video, but the regular hose, this, is underneath here, and this just happened to slide in there. I slide this stiff part over, and no longer will it pinch. I did not do this before I went to boundary water, so I was pinching. I was constantly having to lift up this hose with my little carabiner setup and elevate it so it wouldn't pinch, but now it's not going to be an issue. So Nice thing is everything fit in this bag, including an extra filter. When I got home, I did push about 12 of these with tap water through it at my father-in-law's house, who actually has, you know, city water, so there's a little bit of chlorine in there. And then I hung this up for a week along with my bag and all my hose to make sure it was perfectly dry. You don't obviously want any water in there when you go to store this for the year. So I brought it out. It's been a few months. I did push some water through it. Mine is not clogged, and I know that was the biggest complaint, is people would go to use them the next year and they were clogged. Push the chlorine and chlorinated water through there, hang it out to dry a long time so no bacteria or anything grows in your Sawyer Mini, and you will be set. So my only gripe from Sawyer is this is just a regular medical one. They throw their own little Sawyer cleaning plunger on there, but it's threaded. This is not threaded. Just, Sawyer, spend an extra buck and get a plunger or an adapter or something so this goes on here. You literally have to push it against your body to hold a good seal on here, and you're still getting water to squirt out here. So they should have some better, either thread the end of this Katadyn so it fits on here, or come up with a better plunger system so it's just not perfect. It's more rigged than I would do if I invented this. So otherwise, impeccable. I don't know why you're buying Life Straws, because this thing can do it all, and it does it perfectly. So that's my review of the Sawyer Mini for the same price. The only other question or the other option I would have is the blue one comes with a bag adapter, so you can actually take a dry bag, cut a hole in it, and there's a hose, and build what I've got with the Katadyn. The only reason I have the Katadyn is this is my old filter system, and I adapted the Sawyer Mini to work on it. Otherwise, the blue kit, check out some other reviews, but you can probably make a little X. It's got the adapter that fits in there, and you can make this setup. So nothing wrong with this Sawyer Mini any day of the week. This summer we're going on 2 Boundary Waters trips. I'm taking a Boy Scout group up for a week, and then our family will. I'm going to continue to use this same filter, and I'll give a review again. I don't know, we can probably figure we went through 30 gallons a day between cooking, cleaning, and all the drinking of water for 7 people. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Thanks a bunch.